Okay, first off, this idea came from Baby Jamie1, who you might have seen circulating around your YouTube recommended page recently. And I left a comment and said I'd love to do something similar, reading Reddit stories and playing Minecraft just for some background noise for you or a little entertainment. So I found a handful of some interesting Reddit stories, a few different genres we got going on here. So let's start with this first one here. This is from the subreddit Am I Overreacting? Does my boyfriend hate me? So I'm 20 female and my boyfriend is 20 male and we've been together since we were 17. When we first got together I knew he was a bit of a jerk but I liked him so I ignored it. I've started to realize however that over the past year or so he won't let me touch him in bed at night because it's quote unquote too hot. If I ask him for a hug it's for 5 seconds and seems as though I've just asked him to run a marathon on no sleep. If I ask him for a kiss it's one peck, that's it, and it seems like I'm putting him out. He doesn't take me on dates, and he talks to me like crap a lot of the time. He works a 9 to 5, and when he gets home from work, he sits on his phone and pretty much ignores me all night. He'll also plan stuff with his friends, not tell me until the day before, and not speak to me the entire time he's out. I'm close with his family, and I really don't want to lose them, but I've told them how he treats me, and it seems like they don't care. He'll tell me I'm just a woman, or constantly make out that he's more hardworking than me. I've told him so many times how I want to be treated and tried to leave and he always says he'll do better and try but never works. I love him so much and I don't know if I'm overthinking or if he's just not a touchy person or what, but I don't want to live like this forever. Am I overreacting or is this not how you should treat someone you love? Okay, wow. So, let's just say, I mean, your second sentence you said that you knew he was a jerk but you liked him so you ignored it. So I'm curious why you like him if you knew already he was a jerk before you even became official with him. I'm gonna assume it's mainly just like the physical attraction aspect, and I know a lot of people put so much influence on that or like so much focus on the physical attraction that they kind of let the actual person, like who they are, slide. They're like, oh well, he hates women and and children, but I mean he's got big biceps. That's not how it's supposed to be. But obviously I don't know this person's situation, but I'm just curious why, like clearly this is a thought you had, well he's a jerk but I like him so I'll deal with it. Also, only 20 years old and living together is really not the smartest thing to do. I'm just gonna say. But yeah, I mean he sounds like he's not giving you the time of day, obviously. He seems like a jerk, like you said. He said he works a 9 to 5, and when he gets home from work, he sits on his phone and pretty much ignores you. I mean, I would understand some of that, like, you know, working a 9 to 5, you get home and you're tired, and sure, you want to maybe doom scroll on your phone for a little bit, but when you have this person you've agreed to live with and you're dating and supposed to be supporting each other and you're not doing that, then I'm like, why are you here? So I'm wondering if he's too lazy to break it off because then all the living arrangements and everything would have to be sorted out. Maybe he knows he can get away with it. Like you said, you've told him so many times about how you feel and how you want things to be, but he just never actually takes the action. So you've basically shown him that he can get away with it and he's just pretty much gonna be fine. So until you actually break it off or take action or like something, or take a break at the very least, like he's not gonna believe you, and by the sounds of it I don't think he'll end up caring that long. He'll probably just go play with his friends like a little 20-year-old boy. But yeah, I understand, you know, when you get used to living with this person and you love this person and you're not gonna want to like leave that, but like you said you don't want to live like this forever, and I mean that tells you enough. And it's been 3 years and he hasn't changed, so he's not going to, and I definitely think that you need to take the step that you need to take and get out of there. Because you're only 20, there's so many more people out there, and if you love the wrong person this much, imagine how much you can love the right person. You definitely deserve better, so I hope you can get out of that. Okay, next I have this one, which is also from the Am I Overreacting subreddit, and it's a little more random, kind of silly, I guess. So this is called Etiquette Debate. This is something my partner and I have gone back and forth on for years, and today he suggested I post it here to see what the court of public opinion says. So for context, we were at a Mother's Day brunch a few years ago at a nice place, not super fancy, but we waited probably an hour and a half for a table, and it was a cute spot. We're with his family, and there were about 7 of us there. We're at a circular table, and there are toothpicks on the center. We all order, get our plates, and have a nice brunch. Naturally, some finish their food before others. The waiter clears my partner's empty plate along with a few others. His sibling's plate, one who is sitting across from him, is still on the table with food on it. She isn't eating much from it, but doesn't have the waiter clear it when he asks. So anyways, once his plate is gone, he takes a toothpick from the center of the table and starts picking in between his teeth with the toothpick while we're sitting at the table talking. After another 10 minutes of chatting, the waiter comes by again with the bill, asks if his sibling is done, and she says yes. Her plate is then cleared. Okay, so to the question. I feel like using a toothpick to pick at your food in your teeth while at a public meal while there is still food on the table is poor etiquette. I said to him later that he should probably not floss or pick like that when he's at a public place. He felt like it was absolutely acceptable etiquette, saying why else would toothpicks be on the table, and that it seemed like everyone was done eating. I was astounded that he thought that, and he's always been baffled as to why I think it's so rude. Since then, we love asking different friend groups what they think and getting their opinions because we're so divided on it. Most friends we ask tend to agree, but I won't say with whom to avoid swaying anyone here. So, am I overreacting? Was it fine for him to use a toothpick at the table, or was it bad form? Okay, I'm on your side here. I think that's gross. I don't want to see anybody picking stuff out of their teeth anyway, especially at a dinner table. That's just like, it's gross. That's the ick, as people say. I think that's definitely gross. And I mean, you know what he said, why else would toothpicks be on the table? I mean, sure, take them with you though and like do it after. Like if you have to do it in a car, or like maybe go to the bathroom and do it. And like it's like picking your nose almost. Like it's so gross and definitely shouldn't be done at a table. Not to mention at a nice place and while people still have food on the table. If I was eating and somebody across from me was picking stuff out of their teeth, I would not want to eat anymore because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna get stuff in my food. Like it's really gross. I agree with you, and the fact that you said this is a year or several year long debate is really funny. It took this long to put it on Reddit is really funny. Somebody commented and said that toothpicks are on the table so you can get one as you leave to use in the privacy of your car. Restaurants where you have to pay the cashier on your way out usually have toothpicks there to get on your way out. Right, good point. For sure. Wait till you get in the car, get on your way out, and don't pick your teeth at the table. We don't need that. Okay, next one. This is kind of a dramatic relationship related one. This is from Am I Overreacting? Am I overreacting for wanting my boyfriend to block the friend he reached out to after our short breakup? We, 29 female and 32 male, have been together 4 years and live together. There have been many challenges, but we love each other and we try to work through them. Mid-April, I broke up with him because for some time I felt our issues were insurmountable. Immediately after, he spent about an hour in his car and then came back inside to talk. That entire time I was having a breakdown, feeling guilty for giving up and hurting him. We agreed to try again. 3 days ago, I saw a notification on his phone from someone named quote-unquote guess who. We will refer to as GW from here. I thought it was weird because I know basically everyone he talks to, but assumed it was an inside joke between a work friend. Last night, I confronted him asking if he would let me look at his phone. He said yes, not believing I would actually ask. I insisted, and he became extremely agitated and said I might find something embarrassing. After more pestering, he said I might find something that would upset me and I might break up with him. He eventually caved and showed me the messages between him and GW. Within the hour he was in his car after our breakup, he DM'd a woman he was close friends with before we met. They have never dated, and prior to this, they had not spoken for years. She did not respond a week or so, but after she did, they exchanged numbers and he named her GW. They have been texting more than he texted me, and though it appears innocent enough, he didn't let me read the entire thread, just bits. I'm feeling extremely hurt and jealous. We'd only been broken up for maybe 2 hours, so all of these conversations were while we were still together. He said he didn't really talk to her about me or our relationship. When I initially pursued him, he rejected me because he had feelings for GW, and she confessed that she loved him 4 to 6 months prior to us dating. She left the country and started dating someone else immediately after confessing, and now I'm starting to believe that's the only reason they never dated. And we ended up dating shortly after. Today, he told me he used her as an excuse not to date me because he was scared to be in a relationship and that he was never interested in her romantically. I don't believe him. I keep thinking about how quickly he reached out to her of all people. He told me he didn't know who to talk to and that of everyone, he thought she could relate or understand because they had been there for each other during breakups in the past. I told him that he made her sound special to him and I'm uncomfortable with that. He's mad that I'm so upset and I don't know how to not be upset. He assures me I'm the one that he wants to be with and apologized for keeping it from me. I'm not satisfied with an apology. I want him to block her. Am I overreacting? Okay, so we got a few things to unpack here. I know what I'm thinking immediately. So let's see, you're 29 and he's 32. Okay, 3-year difference. You've been together for 4 years and lived together. So TLDR, she wants her boyfriend of 4 years to block his love interest from the past. Okay, yes. The fact that he sat out in the car and the first person he messaged was an old love interest, I almost wonder if he was doing that to like have somebody as backup if you were truly breaking up with him, like he could see if he had backup. So he reached out and then came back inside to talk to you again. It seems very strange, and I find it very hard to believe he doesn't have a closer friend or even a family member to talk to about a breakup, because a 4-year-long relationship ending and you're gonna text an old love interest? No, you definitely have ulterior motives. I 100% agree with you. And then when you were asking to see his phone, he's acting all strange. Oh, you'll find something embarrassing. No, you'll just find that you're trying to cheat. Definitely suspicious behavior. And if he refuses to block her, then he's gonna choose a woman he was never with over his girlfriend of 4 years. And that's ridiculous. I mean, you said that you've had your own problems and you felt your issues were insurmountable. Already, if you feel your issues are insurmountable and you're adding this on top, I mean, I don't really know what to say about that. He's definitely got some sort of ulterior motive going on with this other woman. He couldn't go an hour without reaching out for comfort or a random woman. Like, it was an hour while he's still, from the sound of it, parked outside your house. That is ridiculous and childish behavior, and you said he's 32. Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm just pretty shocked at this. Like, quickly reaching out to her, out of all people, is just insane. And him only apologizing and not being willing to block her shows that he doesn't care that much. Like, if he truly cared about you and was considering your feelings in all aspects of the situation, he would realize that the logical thing to do is to block this woman who, but from the sounds of it, is still living in another country now anyway. That he would block it and see what else he can do to move on with you and, alleviate the situation and make it better. Which sounds like he's unwilling to do. And if you already felt like you had to break up with him before you even knew about this is definitely, like, your final straw. Don't let him talk you back into starting again for however many times this would be, like second or third time. I think you mentioned somewhere. I can't find it. Yeah, and even if he agreed to block her at some point, it would only be probably because you're like forcing him. And if he wants to talk to this woman, he's going to talk to her one way or another, whether she's blocked or not. The cheaters will find a way. And I think you're sincerely wasting your time. And it's already been 4 years. You're 29. You're still young. And you can move on and find somebody else who's better for you and not waste more time with him. Okay, so that one was a lot. I have another one. This one is about a teenager and their parents. So, am I overreacting for covering my ears in front of my parents and grimacing while they ramble about AI replacing me? For starters, I'm 16, female. The part of the title that says AI replacing me is a little weird, but I don't know how else to phrase it in just a few words. Essentially, my parents have been going on and on about how ChatGPT is allowing them to be lazy, and they call me a mental case for actually wanting to work hard in life. My mom was talking about starting a business. She's been unemployed for 15 plus years now by choice, not a bad thing, but really shows through when she begins talking about business, and suddenly said that she succeeded in creating a great business plan. She proceeded to go on about how she asked ChatGPT how to create a business that helps kids, and got all the ideation information down, from what the goal of the business would be to the operations and research aspect. Call me a killjoy, but isn't that what the creator of the business should do? Pursue the passion by actually coming up with a tangible idea by themselves? When I asked the question, don't you want to work hard? Of course, both my parents went no, and I knew I was in for a rough go of it. I said, I prefer not to use AI for that. My mom went, of course. This, words and slurs I'm not going to repeat. Soon, all of the people at school will stop talking to her because of how insufferable she is and go on to great colleges, unlike her, who will have no friends and nothing to look forward to because she doesn't use the technology that's available. She screams this at me. So loudly, so I covered my ears and grimaced, and my parents got really, really mad. Was I overreacting or being dramatic for covering my ears? And do you guys think AI should be used to replace literally everything you pursue, like in my mom's example, the ideation process? That, in my opinion, should be authentic and personal when creating a business and other similar instances. My parents have always been toxic, and I'm so stressed out and depressed, and I don't know how to escape. This is a very futile example of their toxic behavior. First of all, if you can, it shouldn't be this way, but you're going to have to just avoid speaking about topics like this. If they start off on some crap that you disagree with or that you know is problematic, you're unfortunately just going to have to turn the other cheek and just let them say whatever. It's like bullying, basically. Bullies like the reaction that they get from the victim, but when the victim stops caring and shows like they don't care, the bully will get bored and move on to someone else. So I feel like that's kind of what you have to do here. And I agree with you. I heavily dislike all that AI is taking over and doing. People use it way too much, and I went through college without this AI stuff that was so popular, that is now so popular. And I heavily disagree with it, and I think it's unnecessary, and I think it's going to do more harm than good in the long run. So I agree with you. And your mom's response to this is so unnecessary, and you shouldn't believe anything that she's telling you. Yeah, if she's screaming like that, and she used a slur and all this stuff, like it's just, I don't think you're overreacting for simply covering your ears. If you'd yelled back and screamed back, then that'd be different. But you literally just covered your ears. And I mean, at least from what I can tell from the story. And it just sounds like they are quite toxic. And some parents, depending on the age, like the generation, can be very closed-minded. So combined with bad personality traits, you get kind of a mess. So I'm sorry you're in that situation. It's stressful, I'm sure. But yeah, the best you can do is just ignore them. Let them talk crap amongst themselves and try to avoid getting into it because it's just going to make them want to do it more. And they shouldn't be fear-mongering, trying to scare you, all this nonsense. I'm sorry that your parents aren't doing what they should be for you. Find people your age and a little older who will be a good support group for you, and you can have a good time with them and have people who support you and take care of you and encourage you like your parents should be doing. I have friends who are still at college age, and they use AI for things I don't think they need to be using AI for. I just don't understand why you're doing that. I heavily disagree with it, and I think it's unnecessary, and I think it's going to do more harm than good in the long run. So I agree with you. And your mom's response to this is so unnecessary, and you shouldn't believe anything that she's telling you. But I'm glad that you're only 16 and you disagree with AI, because I think a lot of teenagers that I've seen are all over it and they want the easy way out. So I respect you for not wanting the easy way out and wanting to work hard. That's a really good trait to have, and I commend you for that, and I hope you hold on to that. Okay, so I've got one last one, pretty short. Am I overreacting? Boyfriend said, "You look ugly on video call." I really want your honest opinion. My boyfriend has never once called me ugly to this day, until right now, of course. He knows that I have body dysmorphia and I'm insecure about my looks, but he's always complimented me and never made me feel like I was ugly. And I know he meant the compliments because he doesn't lie. We were on video call today and I'm super comfortable with him, so I was laying down and talking to him with my phone really close to my face in a very unattractive angle that I didn't even care about since it was him. He suddenly goes, "You look ugly," and started laughing. I immediately freaked out and turned off my video. He asked me what happened and turned his off as well. When I was silent for a while, he asked me again, and I replied that he called me ugly, so I turned it off. And he said, "Come on, it's a joke. I also look ugly at times on video call, and you can totally call me ugly then." I responded that I've never found him ugly. I was really triggered after that, so I left the call. Please tell me if I'm overreacting. I don't know if he was just joking, or if that's something couples say to each other for fun. It's just that he knew it's something that bothered me, and he still said it. Maybe he said it accidentally, or just, I don't know. I really need to know if I'm overreacting or not. Please be honest. Okay, yeah, this rudeness is unnecessary. I don't think you overreacted. I mean, you turned off your camera. That's a valid response. And you told him what was wrong. It's not like you flipped out. I don't think you're overreacting. I mean, especially if you already have issues with confidence. Of course, an insult like that from somebody you love and felt safe with is going to hit close to home and it's going to hurt your feelings. And that's totally valid. I don't think this is something that's necessarily going to be endgame for you guys, unless you so choose. I think you should have a deeper conversation with him in person, or that, yeah, somebody who loves you and somebody that you're supposed to be supporting, you should never tell them that they look ugly, especially it didn't sound like he was saying ah ha ha, like a silly little joke. Like he said it and then laughed. Like he wasn't teasing you. He was, I don't know why he said that. There's no situation where you should just say that out of pocket. And like you said that you've never found him ugly. And, you know, when you care about somebody so much, you don't see the outside looks as much. And when you do, it just looks better because you know their heart most of the time, if that makes sense. It's just really rude and inconsiderate. I think you should have a deeper conversation with him about it. And if he really cares, then he'll have a response that I think will be satisfactory for you. And you can figure out where to go from here. Like I said, I don't think it has to be anything like in game for you guys. Okay, so we got a pretty good handful of stories done there. If this was interesting to you, leave a comment and let me know if you want me to make another video. And like I said in the beginning, check out Baby Jamie 1, who was my inspiration. I thought this was just fun and chill to make while I was working on my other, more full effort videos. They're pretty interesting to be skimming through, so let me know what you think about these stories and your opinions, and if you think these people were overreacting and what your thoughts are. And I will see you next time. Have a good one.